Hello there. I am Yvonne Decelis coming to you today on YNergy, my channel in YouTube, and I'm just here to do a very quick one today. I apologize in advance. I know people hate my microphone. It's a temporary thing because unfortunately my computer is kind of dying. I am going to have to get a new Macintosh, and I don't know when I'm going to be able to do that, but it'll be soon, hopefully, knock on wood. But just for now, please just live with this for now. I am going to try to get a wireless mic that I can just attach to my shirt. That sounds decent. I have one, but it sounds awful. So I'm sticking with these for now. It's Logitech, and it's good quality, so I'm hoping I'm coming through clearly. But this is a video about the law of attraction. Although before I get into that, since I am an energy healer, I do want to show a couple of energy healing things you can do if you need them. I'm just going to show two really quick exercises, and then I'll go into the law of attraction discussion. But just for people who need energy healing tips and tricks, I'm just going to do two really quick ones you can do if you're stressed out. The first one, I've done this a few times. I just really like this one, so I just wanted to show it to you guys. What you want to do is rub your hands together, get them good and warm, rub them together for maybe like 60 seconds or so. And then, and I'm not going to take my headphones off, just pretend these are my ears. These giant headphones are my ears. What you want to do is you want to take the palms of your hands and stick the palms of your hands on your cheekbones. Put your fingers over the top of your head, and your thumbs should go across to the sides out to where your ears are. So just leave them out on the sides. Hold your hands over your head with your fingers over the top of your head and the palms of your hands on your cheekbones. So across the face with the fingers folded over your head and your thumbs out to the sides to your ears. Hold it here, and let's just take a couple of intentional breaths. So in with the nose, out with the mouth, if possible. Most important is your tongue should be touching the roof of your mouth. You should feel the back of your top row of teeth against your tongue if you want to know exactly where it should be. It should be at the roof of your mouth, particularly when you're breathing in. You can let it drop when you exhale. Many different reasons. I'm not going to spend a lot of time in the film going into that, but I do have a video about how to make the most out of your energy healing treatment that I will make a link to within the description in case you want to see more about that. But let's just take a couple of breaths together. So again, palms on your cheeks, fingers down, thumbs out on the sides, and let's just take a couple of breaths. So in, rise up when you breathe in, and sink down when you breathe out. And one more, in and out, in and out. And okay, that's it for that one. That's a really good one if you're stressed out. It's also useful if you have a bad, I'm trying to remember what they're called, cluster headache. Cluster headache, if it's like a stabbing head pain on one side, if you rub your hands together again to get them warm when you do this, the warmth coming from your hands over your eyes should help take care of any pains you have on either side of your head. So if you have a headache, something like that, that should help as well. So that's the first one. And the second one is another very quick one. This is one of the first things that I did that made me realize how real energy healing could be. I was watching Donna Eden and her husband David Feinstein talk. I believe it was David Feinstein who showed this one. It's very simple. I do this one instead of something she calls the cross crawl, which is an exaggerated march where you're actually lifting your legs up and doing your arms at the same time. I work with a lot of people with disabilities. I have mild disabilities myself, and I realize not everyone can stand and do an exaggerated march. So this very easy one that you do is you just put your hand on one shoulder, and you just drag across to your hip on the opposite side, and then you go to the other shoulder and drag across to the hip to the opposite side, and you just keep doing that because energy is supposed to be crisscrossed. Our bodily energies are supposed to be crisscrossed, kind of like a DNA strand. So what you're doing is you're redirecting the energy by doing this. If your energy goes from being crossed to being like this, you don't want your energies to be parallel. That can cause problems. It can make you feel lousy, just generally lousy. So what you want to do is you're basically redirecting your energy by doing this. And I know this seems really simple, but it actually does work. When you do this, a lot of people will feel a temperature shift or a pressure shift. That means it's working. So those are just the two quick energy healing exercises I wanted to show you, but to not waste any more of your time, I want to go into the law of attraction discussion. And as I said, I will do this video again because I realize a lot of people can't stand this headphone thing. So I will do this again when I have better equipment. Also, I am getting some more training. I just finished up a course in using WordPress to do web design. I'm going to be starting another course in doing video work, more professional videos, and more professional promotion of the videos. But my course was supposed to start in February. It's actually been postponed to mid-March, but I'm hoping that that will help improve the quality of my videos for everyone. So I'm not sure exactly when the course is starting now. I think it's starting March 9th. I'm not positive, and it's a 2-month course, but I'm hoping that will help make the quality of my videos better for you. But as always, thank you for listening to me babble. I'm going to continue on now with the law of attraction. I may take a sip every once in a while just to warn you because I get very dehydrated and also I need my coffee. So pardon me for interruptions every once in a while. I am going to take a sip of that. Actually, I'm going to do it right now. It's just so that I don't start making clicking noises as I speak. Okay, all that said, before I go into the law of attraction, the first thing I'll say is what the law of attraction is for anyone who does not know what the law of attraction means for this intent of this video. When I say law of attraction, I'm talking about the idea that like attracts like. So, for example, if you're having one of those days where everything feels like it's going wrong, it means you are trapped in a bad energy pattern. The reverse can be true too. You can have a day where it just seems like everything's going right. It's because you're in a positive energy loop. And so positive things are attracting other positive things. That's basically what the law of attraction is. You can use the law of attraction to get things in life that you want. One of the tricky things about the law of attraction is you need to deal with recognizing what you are thinking, both consciously and subconsciously. And I realize it's not really feasible to know what's going on subconsciously because that means underneath your conscious thoughts. But a lot of times we have self-sabotaging beliefs about money, about relationships, about life, about our higher selves, etc. And those self-sabotaging thoughts that we don't even realize that we have can cause a lot of problems. Now, a lot of people have said that they think believing in something like the law of attraction can be naive, and I understand why they feel that way, but I choose to believe in it. I've had really good fortune since I started following the beliefs of the law of attraction. I am not necessarily a huge fan of the movie. I did try to watch the movie The Secret, and I really couldn't get into it because I kind of felt like it was very heavily sales pitch to me, and I didn't like that. But that also might stem from my own self-sabotaging money beliefs. Who knows? But like I said, I do choose to believe that it's real. I've had some really, really good luck since I have started believing it. And when I say good luck since I've started, I should probably clarify what I mean when I say since I've started. I've started looking into it more. I've started reading up on it. I've been watching videos. I've been listening to streaming shows about it. And a lot of the things that I've learned, I've been putting into practice. I don't have my water cup with me right now. I should. I have it in a different room, but I have another cup that I sometimes use that has a lot of different pieces of paper taped to it. That's from a video I watched about manifesting money through water. What the woman said in the video was that water takes on the energy of the signs that you put on it. So if you put notes on your glass of water or cup of water that have positive things on it, that positive energy can infuse your water. So I have a cup that I have notes on, and one of the notes that I was told to write, I'm actually quoting it from a video I saw today. One of the quotes I was told to put in is, "Money flows easily, freely, and from everywhere." That's one that I've been trying to commit to memory, just so that it's something that if you hear it enough through enough repetition, you'll start to eventually believe that it's true. So I'm just trying very hard to tell myself money flows easily, freely, and from everywhere. Another mantra I learned a while back that I've also found to be incredibly helpful, and I've had good things happening to me ever since I've been putting that one into practice, is my universe is controlled by me. My reality is controlled by me. I decide what's possible, and my success will be inevitable. That's the mantra. The mantra, actually, the way I learned it was, I believe anything is possible, and my success is inevitable. I actually changed that very first half because I didn't feel true to myself when I was saying I believe anything is possible. I was like, no, I actually don't believe that. But I did decide to change it to, I decide what's possible, and my success is inevitable. because I can't be untrue to you and I can't be untrue to myself. I can't be disingenuous. So I had to say something to myself that I could really believe in. So I decided to just say, I'll decide what's possible and my success is inevitable. And I tell myself that many times a day, not out loud because I don't want people to think I'm crazy, but mentally, whenever I have meditations or trance or anything like that, I try to add that in the I decide what's possible and my success is inevitable. And that's one of the notes that I have on my glass of water. It's taped around to the top of it, and it says, I decide what's possible and my success is inevitable. I'm going to have to add that other note about money flows easily, freely, and from everywhere. I'll probably tape that to the cup of water that I have next. But telling yourself things like this is helpful. You do need to be realistic, or you don't need to, I shouldn't say be realistic, but I've also learned that it's good to start small, to take baby steps with this sort of thing. So they say if you want to really believe what you're saying, maybe don't say something that you find to be implausible to yourself, especially since we don't even know really, we're not aware of what our subconscious thoughts are. So you want to use repetition, and you want to be telling yourself something that you can really, really believe in. So just picture something that you believe is plausible. If you think it's possible to make $100 or $1,000 or more, and you can go up as high as you want, the sky's the limit. But you've got to be able to convince yourself that it really is something that can happen. So I've started small, but I'm starting to notch up as I go along. I might be taking way too conservative a route here, but again, I just don't want to be disingenuous to anyone, including to myself. So I've had good fortune. I've had good fortune financially. I've had good fortune with my relationship and spiritually, etc. So as I've said, I've had good luck with this. In the past, I've had problems with depression and anxiety, and the law of attraction has helped me with that quite a bit, both physically, psychologically, and financially. I've had success in many other ways, and I promise you, if I ever do become rich and famous, you guys will be the first ones to know. I will let you know. But as I've said, it's been very helpful. I keep looking at notes that I took today from a really good video that I saw about, it was called Unsinkable. I can't remember her name. I think her last name was Riccardi. I believe it was Lisa Riccardi or Ricardo, but she was really pretty amazing. It was all about bouncing back from bad experiences. Her video was really, really good. In it, she was talking about some of the things that she's been through. She's been through some really bad things, but she really turned her life around, and she has a video series. It's actually more than just video. It's multimedia. It's video, audio, and I believe you can also get it in transcript form, so you can read her, listen to her, or watch her, or all of the above if you want to. I took a lot of notes from when I was listening to her today. I thought she was really wonderful. She actually, when she was talking about some of the hard things she's been through in her life, she actually made me cry. Not that that really takes much. It doesn't take much to make me cry. But when she was talking about things that happened to her mother and to her father, I was moved to tears several times listening to her. One of the things she mentioned is we all go through hardship. It's something you need to learn how to do. She said you gotta not blame yourself if you find yourself feeling sad or feeling angry at times. She said when we go through something bad, she said life is life. Life is not perfect. And when you go through a bad experience, you should let yourself go through whatever that negative emotion is, the sadness or the anger, whatever. Just let yourself experience it so that you can let it go. Let yourself go through the experience, let yourself experience that feeling, and then let it go, and don't judge yourself for it. There was also something else that she mentioned that I thought was a really good quote. She brought a couple of quotes up, and one of the quotes that I really liked was, life does not have to be perfect to be wonderful. That was a really good one. And I also liked, the present moment is all that there really is. I think the reason I like that one so much is because a lot of times people tell me about things that have been going on in their past that makes their life today so much harder than it needs to be. And I like the idea that the past is really the only real thing. So she said if you get really hung up on something that happened in the past, she said if you're crying about something that happened to you 20 years ago, then you need to analyze why that is. Why is it still making you sad today when it's something that happened so long ago? She said in this moment right now, is there something happening right now that is making you sad? And is that something you can live with, or can you move past that? Can you let it go? So I realize that life is hard. I mean, we've all had horrible things happen to us, and we've all had good things happen to us too, hopefully. If you've had a lot of bad experiences, please know that right now in this moment, I'm hoping that you're not going through anything bad at the moment. I hope right now that you're just in this moment and that you're relaxed and that you're in a good, comfortable place. If you're not, I'm hoping it'll get better for you as soon as possible. But please do understand, I know that we go through bad things. We all do, and we have to get forward and move past it and move beyond it. And it is possible to do. It's hard to do, but it's possible. And if you're in a situation that you can't get out of, hopefully you will find someone who can help you get out of it. But all that said, I really did find her video to be very helpful. She had a couple of steps too on how to reprogram yourself. One of the things she said is time to change. She said if you're really not happy right now, then you need to change the way you're doing things. She said because whatever you're doing is not necessarily working for you at the moment. So if your goal right now is to be a millionaire and you're broke, then something in your life needs to change because something in your life is just not leading you to where you want to be. So try to be optimistic, try to be hopeful about the fact that you need to change things, but just know that if there's something in your life that you are not happy with, it's something that needs changing. Also, she said something about making a declaration. I ended up really liking the declaration that she made. She was talking about how she turned her life around. She had some very bad things all happen to her all at once. She ended up being in debt by over $100,000. She ended up almost losing her house. She was having relationship problems. She also lost her mother, and at almost within a 48-hour period of when she lost her mother, her father got into an accident. I think he fell and he hurt his hip and he had to go to the hospital. But in addition to having to go into the hospital and have surgery, when he came out of the surgery, he also lost his mind, literally. He developed dementia. And when he first came out of the surgery, it was so bad. It was probably partially from sundowning as well, but his dementia was really advanced right after the surgery. He didn't know who anyone was. He couldn't recognize his family members. And I could only imagine how horrible it must have been to go through all of these things all at once. I mean, she had a relationship with someone who was an alcoholic. And having to deal with that was a nightmare all in itself. But on top of that, she had serious health problems. And as I said, she had the financial issues, the issue with possibly losing where she was living, the relationship problems, losing a family member, and then also at almost the same exact time losing another family member, a parent, two parents within 48 hours of each other. This all happened all at the same time. And at one point she made a verbal declaration of, I don't know why what's happening to me is happening, but I know it's going to go somewhere good because I'm not going through this for nothing. I can't possibly be going through all of this for nothing. I must be experiencing this for a reason, and it's going to turn around. It's going to turn into something wonderful. And that declaration really changed things for her. And she was able to put it into practice to the point where today she's well off. She's been able to help many, many other people. Her father is actually still alive. He went through miracles when he was recuperating from the surgery, and he got his mental capacity back. It's years later now. I guess at the time, doctors didn't think he was going to make it. I guess he was on machinery, and they were talking about pulling the plug because they had such low hopes for him. But somehow he miraculously recovered to the point where he is still alive now. He's in better shape now. His dementia, I guess it's getting bad again, but not anywhere near to the level it was before. He's just been doing so much better, and she's in a much better place now. She said if you told her back then that she was going to be in the place where she is now, she said she probably would have laughed you out of the room. She wouldn't have believed you. So that's another reason I definitely recommend checking her out, The Bounce Back. She was really incredible, and I got a lot out of listening to her today. So I'm really hoping that you'll get something out of listening to this today. One other quote that I heard, this was from a philosopher named Yumi, Y-U-M-I. I just really like this quote. It's basically, I'm paraphrasing, I don't know word for word, but it is, you are not just a drop from the ocean, but you are the entire ocean in a drop. I kind of like that one too, so I did just want to share that quote as well. But once again, with law of attraction, self-defeating thoughts are the enemy. Our brains are what really drive us, and it's where we get either good or bad things come from our thinking. So you need to try to get rid of those self-defeating thoughts, those self-sabotaging thoughts. For example, if you think you have to work really hard to make lots of money, or you think you're not deserving of lots of money, I shouldn't even be saying money, I should just be saying prosperity, because being successful and being prosperous doesn't necessarily just mean being financially rich. You can be rich in other ways other than just money. But for whatever your priority is, for whatever you want, just know that things can get better. If you feel like you're in a really bad place right now, just know that things can turn around, things can get better. If you're finding yourself just feeling really down and really depressed, try to bring yourself out of it if you can. I read another book about the law of attraction, and it said that the lowest low point is to be just really, really depressed, really sad. And I think it said if you can't think of anything else to do, then just try to bring yourself up one level from depression to anger. But you don't want to stay in anger forever. You don't want to be stuck in a negative pattern or in a negative energy pattern, because it just doesn't feel good. You want to try to turn that around and have it become a good thing, a good thought, optimism. Again, I realize it sounds naive, but trying not to sound naive and trying not to sound disingenuous. It is very hard, but again, if you need to cry or if you need to be angry, let yourself process those emotions. Let them go through you. Let yourself experience them, even if you're mired in it for an hour. Let yourself go through that, but then don't judge yourself. Just let yourself experience those feelings and then just release them and move on from there. And try not to judge yourself for it. I know that that's hard to put into practice, but believe me, you can do it. You are capable, and you are deserving of good things. You're deserving of prosperity. You're deserving of good fortune. So again, I'm just looking once again at the notes because I don't want to forget anything she talked about. She talked about reprogramming the conscious mind. She also talked about reprogramming the subconscious mind, which is very hard to do. But again, repetition is a good way of starting that out. You want to get rid of those self-sabotaging thoughts. So she mentioned, again, like that quote, money flows easily, freely, and from everywhere. She must have said that 80 times during the 1-hour video that I watched with her. She kept saying, money flows easily, freely, and from everywhere. And I'm going to say that to myself as many times as I can until I have that, like I said, by memory. I want to just be able to think of it. Money flows easily, freely, and from everywhere. She also talked about raising our inner vibration. She said if you think about vibration levels, say from 0 to 1,000, she said you want to stay in the 500 and above level. And she said the way she tells people to bring themselves in the level of 500 or higher is to put themselves in a state of love, peace, joy, and gratitude. You can also listen to music. If you go to YouTube and you search for, say, Reiki music, you'll find things like binaural beats, and they'll have numbers usually. You want to go into those higher number binaural beats. I think you're best off listening to those with headsets on, because some of them, I guess, they're made by energy healing experts who know all about the binaural beats and the science behind it. And I guess there are some where it's really important that you have the left headset on your left ear and the right headset on your right ear, because there's different channels that go through to each ear, different vibrations to make you feel better just by listening to it. Let me see, just to see whatever else she wrote. Yeah, it says dramatically increase your vibration above the 500 levels. This is one of 3 steps. She said 3 steps to bouncing back from a bad experience. One was to reprogram your conscious mind, which is much easier to do than reprogramming your subconscious mind, since, again, subconscious means beneath the surface. So we have these subconscious thoughts without even realizing that we have them. And then the third step was to dramatically increase your vibration above the 500 level, which again you can do by listening to binaural music if you wish. And also to come up with a quote or a mantra, something that you can really hold on to and process and learn and memorize and do all the time like this. Money flows easily, freely, and from everywhere. I did memorize the other one about I decide what's possible and my success is inevitable when I finally got that one down, but now I have to get the money flows easily, freely, and from everywhere. I have to get that one down and memorized so that I can eventually just start to really, truly believe that that's true. Because the more you can convince yourself that something is true, the more of a likelihood that it could actually happen. So we all have the potential to become prosperous. We all have the potential to become successful. And again, don't judge yourself and think to yourself that you're undeserving. You are deserving, because how many people are out there now who are really, really rich, who really deserve it? I mean, are these really stellar people? Do you really think that all these people that currently now rich beyond your wildest dreams, do you think they're all really good people? Do you think they're all better than you? Because I'm sure you're a good person too. I'm sure you're deserving of something good. If you're sitting here and listening to me speak now, know that you are good enough. You do deserve this. And if you're telling yourself you don't deserve this, the only person you're hurting by telling yourself this is yourself. So try not to put yourself down. Try not to insult yourself. I am guilty of this too. I'm constantly putting myself down. I find myself constantly calling myself an idiot. I'll think something stupid or I'll do something dumb and I'll go, oh, I'm such an idiot. And you have to kind of stop yourself from saying things like that, because when you say I am, you're basically programming yourself whenever you make that statement. When you say I am, make sure you follow that up with something positive, because if you end that sentence with something negative, your brain is listening to what you're saying and you're convincing yourself of the truth of whatever you're saying. So try not to put yourself down if you can help it. And I do want to go into a little bit more here, but unfortunately, like I said, my technical equipment right now is not great. She also said something too about choose your friends very carefully if you can avoid it. You don't want to be friends with people who are really negative. You don't want to have friends who are putting you down. You need people who support you. So that was the other one. I'm just looking at other things here. Present moment's all there really is. I did really like the life doesn't have to be perfect to be wonderful. I thought that was a really, really good one. I'm going to put this down now because I'm just going to speak from my own here. But again, with the law of attraction, it's hard to be positive all the time. One of the things I read is that the first thing you should do first thing in the morning when you wake up is you should say to yourself, this is going to be a great day. And that's not always believable. I can't say that and really believe that it's true, but I will try to think of something positive in the morning. I do a 10-minute energy healing exercise routine every day. I learned it from Donna Eden. It's her 10-minute feel-good daily energy routine, and I will actually go through and do that full workout at one point in my channel. I actually have done it before, so if you look at my channel for the feel-good daily energy routine, you will find it. You can also look for Donna Eden's daily energy routine. You can find it that way. But when I do that in the morning, it's usually 10 to 15 minutes. I spend 10 to 15 minutes doing the energy healing exercises, and while I'm doing those, that's when I try to infuse my thoughts with, this is going to be a good day. This is going to be a positive day. Things are going to go well. Things are going to be fine. Everything's going to be okay. And I'll be doing like the tapping. If you're into tapping, you're probably familiar with the name Nick Ortner. He has something called the tapping solution or the tapping school, where they're literally tapping themselves, like on the cheekbones, on the chin, on the skin between your mouth and your nose. Again, cheekbones, also by the eyes, on the corners of the eyebrows, on the outer edges or on the inner edges. You can do one side at a time, or you can do both at the same time. You can also do the top of the head. These are acupressure points. So you can do top of the head. You can go under the arm. One of my favorites is the karate chop, which you can do on both hands, not at the same time, but you just tap with your index to your pinky finger on the sides of the hands, so you can do both. You can also do your K27 points. K27 is at the base of the collarbone. So the K27 points. You can also do thymus, or as Donna calls it, the Tarzan tap. You can do that one too. There's also the spleen tap, which is parallel to the nipples, about one rib bone underneath the pecs. It's spleen tap. So tapping is a good way. You can do affirmations. You can give yourself affirmations while you're tapping. There's also a non-tap tapping or a non-tap EFT solution where you put your index finger to your pinky together, put your thumb underneath, make like a duckbill, and then with your other hand just grab the tip and you can squeeze and give yourself affirmations while you're doing this. You can do both hands too. Again, not at the same time. That's a good one, and it's also, this is a good bad behavior replacement tool. For example, if you have something that you always do when you're really stressed out, like for example, what I have, I think it's called tick habit. I find myself picking at my cuticles when I'm stressed out about something. So instead of picking at my cuticles, I do this instead. And I might do this, and while I'm doing this, I'll say, okay, I'm going through a bad experience right now, but I know it's going to get better. Or for example, I know this is going to go somewhere good. I know this is happening for a reason. This is happening to me for a reason. I don't know what the reason is, but I know it's going to go somewhere good because there's no way I could be going through something like this for nothing. So those are the kinds of affirmations you can give yourself when you're doing this particular move. I call this the fingertip grip. I learned this from someone else who's also a law of attraction specialist. He talked about this as an EFT. EFT, again, for people who know Nick Ortner, when they say EFT, they mean emotional freedom technique. And again, this, when I say they, I talk about the tapping specialist, but this is a non-tapping EFT move that you can do. So I think that's it for now. I know I haven't really gone fully into the law of attraction. I just wanted to just briefly cover what the law of attraction was, what it meant, and sort of how you can start practicing it. I do hope this was helpful. I will go into this more, as I promised. I will be doing another video once I get better equipment. I just wanted to put something up because I haven't done anything in a while. I am going to do another video as soon as I can, but as I said, I need to get better equipment. I need to replace this with something that people are not irritated by because, like I said, no one likes this. But I just use this because right now it's the best solution I have until I can find a better computer. Once I get a better computer, I will be able to get something better for the audio. I also have to re-upgrade my use of an app called TubeBuddy. I got hacked, unfortunately. I got hacked about a month ago. Someone hacked my PayPal account and my Facebook account. I lost my old Facebook account. I kept my old PayPal account, but I unfortunately lost a bunch of money, and I had to have PayPal shut down a bunch of my accounts because of what happened, and a lot of my accounts got downgraded. So until I can get everything upgraded and fixed, I'm going to hold off on doing new videos until things get better. So I apologize in advance for the lull that's going to happen after this video. But I did, like I said, I wanted to put something else on my channel for everybody. So I do hope this was helpful for you. Please let me know in the comments down below what you think. And I'm not even going to bother to point because I don't know which side the subscribe button's going to be on. I know that whenever I say it's going to be on this side here, it's usually on the opposite side. So I have no idea where the subscribe link is. But if you want to subscribe to my channel, please do. And also, if you know of anyone you think this video might help, please share it with them. And I guess that's it for now. Thank you once